at the Kansas Jayhawks prospects for the 2026 NFL draft. Who do you got?
Well, firstly, I got to say, we're going to talk about Jalen Daniels. He's a unique guy, quarterback. But when you look at Kansas, their talent is really impressive. Offense and defense, in terms of talent, their prospects, they are loaded with senior guys that are good football players. They may not all be guys that are looking at being drafted, even in the later rounds. A lot of these guys are going to be priority free agents, but they are solid from top to bottom. And Coach Lance, their head coach, John DiFilippo, who's helping them out there, the whole staff there, both the coaching and the recruiting people, they've done a great job of finding guys that fit what Lance is doing, and they play the way he wants them to play. So when you look at the offensive line, I mean, a lot of it, to me, it starts with Bryce Foster, their center. I mean, 6'4" and change, 312. This guy's the leader of that offensive line. He gets them lined up. Very smart football player. And right next to him, he's got Kobe Barnes, another guy that a lot of NFL teams are really intrigued by, 6'3" and change, 320. NFL teams think this is a guy that can be effective both as a power player, but also athletically. He can move. He can do things in space. So having a center and a guard of that level, really something you look forward to. And then they have a kid who had played guard early in his career, ends up at right tackle this year, Enrique Cruz, not a guy that was on NFL draft list before the season, but he's a big kid, somewhere between 6'5" and 6'6", over 320 pounds. And he's not a top athlete, but NFL teams look at him and say, this is a big kid, knows what he's doing, does his job consistently, plays with good technique. There's a lot to like. And as I've learned in this business a long time, if you're over 6'5", you're over 300, you're starting at a Power 5 program at tackle, you have to get a look because there aren't that many humans in the world that are that big and that can move their feet and play the position. And if you can play under Lance, who is a tremendous motivator, but he's also a guy who pushes his kids and makes them work. You don't get through playing at Kansas if you are not a worker. So you know that if you've gotten through there and you are now starting, there's something to you in terms of the mental side that you're going to be able to handle it. They also have skill players on offense. Hinshaw, the running back, this guy's been productive for him ever since he stepped on campus. Emmanuel Henderson, the receiver, and Levi Wentz. Neither Henderson or Wentz is a guy that NFL teams are saying, wow, this guy's going to be a top kid, a draft pick. But I think both of these kids, along with Hinshaw, are going to get an opportunity in the NFL. Hinshaw, the running back, is sort of that guy that he's thickly built, over 210 pounds. And oddly, he's a twitchy little quick guy. So he's sort of to me, he's sort of that guy that's between two things. He's not that super dynamic, run away from you guy, but he's also not that little guy that gets run over. He's got a little power to him. He can break tackles. I like him. I think he's got a role at the next level. And then you look at them defensively. Their whole D-line is a bunch of hard scrabble, just we're coming after you no matter what, as they are traditionally at Kansas and since Lance has been there. Both their defensive ends a little bit undersized. One of them 6'5", 227 is Dean Miller. He's an elite guy. NFL teams are talking about him second or third round. And then they got a kid named Justice Finkley, about 6'1" and change, about 240-ish. Both these guys come off the edge. They play like it matters. Every single snap, it matters. The Miller kid's a little bit more polished, a little more powerful for 227 pounds. It's surprising his ability to run guys over at times, and he plays with great intensity. I think this is a guy that's going to get probably a little overlooked when it comes to the draft. Even if he goes in that second or third round, I think he's better than some of the guys that are going to end up going ahead of him. This is a really good football player. And then their interior guys, DJ Withers, Tommy Dunn. Neither of these guys is at the top of the NFL boards in terms of defensive tackles. Both these kids, though, are going to get an opportunity at the next level. Withers at 6'3" and change, 304. Dunn at 6'2" and change, 305. Both with good long arms, 33.5 and 32. They do their job. They stay at home. They're a little more athletic than a lot of 300-pounders are, so they can get penetration. Their front four, that defensive line, those four players, they are really impressive. The kid, I think, that doesn't get enough credit on this defense, sort of an unheralded guy, and it's a unique name to me, Gali Kamara, linebacker, 6'0", 224, athletic kid who can run. He's not real big. The 224, I think, is a little sort of misnomer. I don't think he plays that big. I think he's more of an athlete running around out there. But he has a nose for the ball. He makes plays. He's the guy that I think is going to have trouble maybe finding a home in terms of on the field defensively at the next level. But I could see him being a special teams guy at the next level because he knows what's going on. He's always around the ball and he makes a lot of plays. So that's my look at like the bulk of their senior guys. And then we can dive into the big cheese, right?
Yeah, well, so the one guy I did want to mention, redshirt senior LaShawn Williams, the second part of that running back backfield, who had over 800 yards at Iowa 2 years ago.
Yep.
Then I think he got hurt. Then he resurfaces at Kansas. And the last couple of weeks, he's really been involved in the offense. Compact runner, 5'9" and 3/8 inches, 211 pounds, right from your neck of the woods there in Chicago, Illinois. And he's somebody who might get a training camp tryout, at least a good look, and maybe latch on as a practice squad. And of course, Jalen Daniels is an interesting case study because at 6 foot, 220 pounds, he's almost built like a running back, Russ, but he's had all this production at the collegiate level. I gave him a Tyrod Taylor comparison.
It's interesting. I see Tyrod Taylor, and trust me, I'm not trying to overhype him and make him into an all-pro. But when I look at his size, and it's not the skill set, I don't want to say he's the same passer, but when I see the sort of competitiveness, the fieriness, the unwillingness to quit, there's a little bit of Baker Mayfield in this kid. I'm not saying he's that good a thrower. I'm not saying he's a first-round pick. I think he is a priority free agent. Maybe someone takes a flyer on him in the 7th round. But just when I watch him play, he plays like with that attitude that I love about Baker, which is, hey, I am going to find a way. Somehow, some way, I'm putting this offense on my back and we're making plays. And this kid's also gone through missing a season due to injury. He's matured since he burst out on the scene 5 or 6 years ago there. I mean, he's developed into an all-around quarterback. When he first got there, he was basically give me the ball, I'm going to move around, and if I see somebody, I'm going to throw it. Otherwise, it's off to the races. Now he's really developed. I mean, yes, they do run a lot of run option, but he reads the defense. He's patient in the pocket. I am so intrigued by this guy. And we always say this because you and I, in our experience, both scouting and CFL, is, yes, I'm excited to see if he gets a chance in the NFL. But, oh, gosh, do I think he could really kill things up in the CFL. Oh, yeah. This is the type of guy, you put him on that bigger field with his leadership, his sort of like that moxie. I think you put this guy up there. There's a little bit of, like I mentioned, Baker. Also a little bit of like a Jeff Garcia type in this kid. You put him on that big field, I think this kid could really kill it. He's already on a team's neg list. I can't remember which one. Sure. I think it might be Winnipeg, but this kid's going to play somewhere, whether it's NFL or CFL. I just like this kid a ton. I think everything is there for him to succeed either in the NFL or CFL.
No doubt about it. And he's got loads of experience, right? And we've seen the signal callers in recent years with that college experience. This guy's probably got over 40 career starts under his belt. And he's got explosive athleticism, obviously, but he has developed as a pocket passer, but he can still take off and kill you with his feet. And, he's going to be a very similar type of player to Tyrod Taylor. You mentioned the adversity. He had that knee surgery almost 8 months prior to the season, right? And, he can sling it. That Jalen Daniels, right?
Yeah, so, I will say I thought when he came on the scene, I really thought at this point he might be a little bit better of a true passer. I think that's something I want to see him. I wanted to see him get better at. I still hope he can improve in that area because there's a lot to like about this kid, both intangibles-wise, character-wise, and ability to make plays. I just would like to see a little bit more consistency throwing the ball. But because like that Missouri game, we both talked about it when they played. He missed 2 big throws down the field that probably would have put Kansas up to where they couldn't have been caught by Missouri and lost. There's something to like about the kid. I just want to see a little bit more consistency. I think there's something to him.